Taking a look closer to home now, the Safe and Healthy Communities Grant Policy brought forward a lengthy discussion during last council meeting. Our Sarah Baker has a story.
After review from the city, administration wants to put the tobacco reduction grant policy and the cannabis retailer fee policy into one. For many council members, this is important to pass.
Over the past number of years, I've seen the projects that grant has funded and how they've had an impact on our community in a positive way. So always looking at how do we educate people to reduce their harms associated with tobacco or vaping use or the nicotine addiction, as well as how do we promote that smoke-free environment in our community.
The collected funds from the policies go towards city-led initiatives, and passing this policy will allow council to continue to do them.
I think that this gives the opportunity for the city to continue to provide services as well as programming and work with other groups that would like to provide programming that would help people understand some of the hazards and health challenges that are associated with smoking, using flavored tobacco as well as cannabis, and help encourage that their disuse in essence from that perspective.
However, not all council members are in favor of the policy.
I think the reasons for which we initially adopted those to raise funds for particular items on the cannabis side, it was related to paying for enforcement of it because it was relatively new when it was legalized, that there was a lot of costs being passed on to municipalities, and we should be using that towards paying those costs. And now it's not exactly clear whether those costs truly exist. And then on the other side, the tobacco reduction policy, in terms of my own beliefs on that, is that it's a provincial responsibility and a healthcare responsibility and a federal government responsibility, and not necessarily something that should be done by municipalities.
Councillors in favor of the policy do believe that there is a costly impact from tobacco on the community and remain in favor of the need to pass the new policy.
Municipalities do have a cost associated with tobacco use, and so for every employee who uses tobacco, it costs the business on average about $5,816 per year, and so that's lost productivity, increase in health costs, lost days of work, longer breaks, etc., as well as 5%, so 1 out of 20 house fires are caused by cigarette use. And then there's that environmental concern around cigarette butts and other paraphernalia that might be left behind in community. And so the cleanup of that is also a cost associated with for municipalities.
The policy will be brought forward again in a future meeting. Sarah Baker, Primetime Local News.
This year's Terry Fox Run is just over a month away, and organizers are looking forward to getting back into the swing of things for the 2022 edition. The 42nd Terry Fox Run and Walk will take place at Bud Miller All Seasons Park on September 18th. The theme this year is I'm Not a Quitter. Organizers are hoping to raise $4,000 and hope to see large support from the community.
We're so excited to be able to gather once again and just greet people and thank them for still taking part over the past 2 years, even though they have had to do it kind of on their own and through online and virtual. So it'll be great to see those people back once again this year. And also I know that a lot of people, they still like to collect those cash donations or those check donations. So this is just going to make it so much easier.
There are 2.5 as well as a 5-kilometer option. You can register for the event now at terryfox.org and search for Lloydminster. Registration can also be done on the 18th at Bud Miller at 9 a.m. before the walk starts at 10.
Yes, terryfox.org to get registered, or just join us that morning. Maybe you don't know yet what you're going to be doing that day, so if you find you are available, we would love it if you just stopped by and registered that day and took part in the walk.
Since 1984, the Lloydminster Run has raised close to $200,000 for cancer research. The Lakeland Rustlers men's basketball club are nearly 2 months away from kicking off a full season, playing teams from both the North and South Conference for the first time in 10 years. Adal Ahmed has the details.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man to my left over here is entering his 7th season as the head coach for the men's basketball team here with the Lakeland Rustlers. He spent some time earlier this past summer being the assistant coach for the Montreal Alliance in the CEBL League. Sheree Thomas. Sheree, I really appreciate you kind of coming into studio today and chatting with me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, certainly. Well, first off, let's just, before we go into your time with the Montreal Alliance this past summer, we're going to talk a little bit about your team with the Rustlers here. You guys had a really good year last year. You guys went 9-7. You guys were third in the ACAC North. Obviously, you guys didn't get the results you wanted going down into the postseason there. But now that you have a chance to kind of like look back and reflect on that season, just what did you take away from it?
It was good. It was an up and down year. We had some hurdles that we had to overcome with some players that we had in the beginning. Then we didn't have in the second half. But what I take from that team really is I think they were grit, had a lot of grit and grind. And when it was time to perform, they usually came through.
Yeah, certainly. Well, obviously there was some of those hurdles you kind of mentioned about, it was kind of a COVID season where, teams, couldn't play and postpone games because of, COVID outbreaks and whatnot. But let's talk a little bit about, your time with the Montreal Alliance. You had a chance to kind of be the assistant coach out there this past summer in your hometown. What was that experience like for you?
It was great. The Alliance led the league in attendance and apparel sold, so we had great attendance. It was good connecting with some players that I played with on a Canadian national team, and some players I know from around just playing. Then also seeing the talent level from a youth sport prospect, from the guys locally, and then from the veteran players that play professionally overseas and D1 players. So. It was a great experience, and yeah, the league is growing. Just wrapped up a couple of days ago with Hamilton winning, and from what I've seen, I think there's a couple of players that are going to the NBA, have signed contracts, and there's a ton of guys that are signing overseas right now. So it's a really good league.
Yeah, having that kind of chance to coach professional basketball players and stuff like that, for you personally, how much do you feel like that kind of helps you when you kind of come back out here and coach your own team here with the Rustlers?
Oh no, it helps a lot. I mean, everywhere you go, you try to take bits and pieces, good and bad, from the situation you're in. So learning from a good coaching staff, where we had coaches from won championships at youth sport level, coaches that won championships at the professional level. It's a great experience, and you'll take pieces that you can and try to incorporate in what you do.
Yeah, certainly. Well, obviously, one thing that's going to be kind of coming up here in this upcoming season for you guys as a group is you guys will be playing both teams in the ACAC North and South this year, which is something that hasn't happened in over 10 years now. Just I was kind of talking about that last week with Chris King, but from your perspective, what are you looking forward to most with that opportunity to constantly face teams from both the North and the South Conference?
It'll be good to see everybody. In a typical year, you don't get to play everybody, and there's guys I haven't played in probably 5-6 years since I've been here. So it'll be good to see the overview of the league. Travel will be a little bit different, but I'm definitely looking forward to see everybody play everybody, and from what I'm hearing, I think the talent level will be up this year as well.
Yeah, certainly. Well, some players that you've had kind of come and go this past off season was Artavis Holiday, who spent the last 5 seasons with the club and whatnot, and then now you've been able to bring in some new players. Just having some players come and then come and go, and just having some new players come in. What do you kind of take away from that, and what are some of the challenges that what are you looking forward to most in this upcoming season here with some new faces?
Yeah, no, we'll definitely miss Artavis Holiday here 5 years. Someone we could depend on. He's leaving as the all-time leading scorer and rebounder in men's basketball, Lakeland men's basketball history. So I mean, he's gonna be sorely missed out there on the court. We're definitely gonna try to incorporate him on the coaching staff this year. So it'll be good to have him around and get his feet wet in the coaching profession. With new guys coming in, we're slated pretty much to have a whole new team, pretty much. Probably 5 returners and probably 10 new players. We'll have some key transfers that have played in the league before. That will definitely help. But it's not really what you see on paper. A lot of times you look at a team and think, okay, this team's gonna be really talented. Just like we see in the NBA. But it takes time to build that trust, get your system, and get that feel for one another. So I'm really excited to get going, but it's going to be a lot more work, because some stuff that you kind of touch on, you're going to have to spend a little bit more time with new players coming in.
Exactly. But just lastly, before we wrap up here, just coming into this upcoming season here, having a full season, what are your expectations as a coach?
My expectations are always to try to win. You know, we're always trying to, you know, be number one. Last year, you know, towards the end of the year, we kind of, you know, got our footing a little bit and pushed SAIT, who's won the last number of years in the ACAC at their place. We're probably a call or two from actually pulling that game out. So, you know, our expectations is always to try to push for a championship. That's what I tell the guys when I'm recruiting them. I don't think they, you know, wouldn't want to come in for saying, okay, we're just trying to make a, you know, a playoff push or trying to win a couple of games. So that's my expectation. Will it happen? Who knows? We'll get in there and do the work and see where things stand. But you know, I'm excited for the team. I think we have some players that can make some noise. Just, you know, it might take a little bit of time.
Exactly. Well, the wrestlers will have a chance to kind of kick off their upcoming season on October 21st against Nate when they hit the road all the way out to Edmonton. So, Sheree, I just want to say thanks again for coming into the studio and talking some wrestlers basketball and just your experience in Montreal with the Alliance. Really appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thanks. It was fun. Let's do it again. Yeah,
certainly. Thanks again, Sheree. We'll see you guys again in the upcoming season.
And now it's time to check in once again with our Shelby Clark, who has an extended look at your evening weather forecast.
Thanks so much again there, JCS. Now taking another extended look at your weather forecast, we will be starting off with our central zone of our provinces here. Kind of checking out where we are looking at temperature-wise for sure. And we are seeing some slightly cooler temperatures than what we were looking at yesterday, with most spots now just seeing 22, 23 degrees over on this end. We go down into Red Deer there, and they are slightly warmer at that 26. We go a little bit higher up to Cold Lake, and they are kind of matching with us here in the border city, seeing that 29. So we have cooled down quite a bit, but at least we are seeing past that 20-degree mark on our Alberta side. And now switching over to our Saskatchewan side, as you can see, they are looking a lot warmer compared to the Alberta side, with most spots over on this end at that 28-degree point. So definitely that heat warning is in effect for most spots over on this end. North Battleford is at 31 and Saskatoon is at 33. So seeing past that 30 degrees, they're definitely seeing some scorchers for today. Switching over to our northern zone now, they are looking a lot warmer than what they have been seeing yesterday as well here on the Saskatchewan side, especially when most spots we're kind of seeing close to that 20-degree point, a little bit underneath it, but now they are warming up quite a bit. Seeing that 21 for both Buffalo Narrows and the Lochweld is 28 down in La Ronge and over in South End now. 26, 27 up in Uranium City, Stony Rapids, and Wollaston Lake. And meanwhile, over in Flin Flon, they have reached that 30-degree point. So hopefully everybody's enjoying your day over in that end, because they are looking a lot warmer. And switching now back to our Alberta side here, they are looking slightly warmer as well. Some spots are a little bit cooled down, especially down in this area with that 21 in Slave Lake, 23 over in Grand Prairie, and we start to go up a little bit higher. They start to warm up from there. 24 in Peace River and Fort McMurray, while there's 27 in Fort Chipewyan, and high level is just underneath that 30-degree point. So northern zone isn't looking too bad with those temperatures. And now going over to our southern zone, as we expected, definitely looking a lot of scorchers over on this end. Medicine Hat, of course, is continuing that warm streak, seeing past that 30 degrees every day for the past week and a half, honestly. 34 in Medicine Hat, as well as over in Lethbridge. So please make sure you're staying hydrated, using that sunscreen when needed, finding shade when needed, because those are definitely some killers out there. 30, 31 up in Calgary and Coronation, while Banff is just a few degrees cooler compared to the rest. And switching over to our Saskatchewan side, once again, they are looking pretty warm as well, seeing that 32 in Swift Current, 33 over in Moose Jaw and up in Kindersley, so definitely seeing a lot warmer. And we go a little bit more over to the end here with Regina and Estevan. They are just a point underneath that 30 degrees, and Yorkton is just a couple degrees cooler compared to the rest. But now going back across the region and seeing what we will expect throughout our evening and throughout the night tonight, we are going to be expecting to see those double-digit temperatures continue on for our temps throughout the evening and throughout the night. Most spots will be expecting that low of 15, while Paradise Hill will be seeing that low of 14 degrees. Wainwright and Isla Cross will be expecting the warmest temperature with a low of 16 to 17 degrees, and Provost and Mirna will be seeing the coolest with a low of 12. But we all will be seeing those double digits, so a nice warmer temperature for sure, although condition-wise, most spots will be expecting that high chance of that precipitation and a risk of a thunderstorm. So please just make sure you're watching out for any alerts that come up. Ending it off with our 7-day forecast for here in the border city. We will be seeing some sunny days, as you can see. 26s, 28s on the board. Wednesday, Thursday, seeing 26. 28 Friday, starting off our weekend. We are going to see a beautiful weekend coming up here in the border city with a lot more sunshine. Mixture of some sun and cloud on Saturday with that 30 points as we reach it. So as I was saying, make sure you have that water kept by you just in case. Stay hydrated. Then we will be seeing that warm streak continue on into next week with those 26s next Monday and next Tuesday. That's all I have for now. Our Jason Mackey will have more news coming up after the break.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Pet Project. We're doing things a little differently this week. We are live on location here at the Border Paws Animal Shelter. I'm with Jessica here and our guest for the week, Emma. Emma is a sweet little kitty. She is the longest resident here.
One of them. She's been
One
here
of the
for
longest.
144 days.
Yeah, so she is certainly looking for her forever home, but she is so sweet. I've been hanging out here for the last 10-15 minutes in the kennel, and oh, she is so sweet. She's been given lots of love, very gentle. She's letting me hold her, and I barely know her, so she certainly is nice. Wouldn't you say, Jessica?
She is. She's a little snuggle butt for sure.
Absolutely. What a lovely kitty. And so we have a lot to chat about this week. You guys have a lot of events coming up. So,
We do.
So let's get started here. So you guys have a summer night market coming up right away.
Yes, the summer night market. So Sunday the 21st from 4 to 9, we're going to be taking part in the summer night market downtown. There will be puppies, lots of vendors, lots of food. We're hoping to get some fundraising done to help raise money for our new facility. So we'll have the puppies, and they're very cute.
Absolutely, and obviously there's a big push these days to get extra funding for the new facility. So, if you've ever been on the fence about, helping out the SPCA, they need it now more than ever. So certainly, stop by, support them at these events, make donations if you can, and let's try and make this happen. And so there's more to chat about, obviously, more events, lots going on. So the next event we want to chat about, I'll let you kind of let people know.
So we do have a Clear Our Shelter cat adoption event where our longest residents who have been here for 100 days or more are only $20 to adopt. The adult cats are $50 and the kittens are $100. They've all been spayed, neutered, chipped, vaccinated. And it'll be from the 15th until the 20th, so still got a couple more days to find a new furry friend. And we're hoping Emma will find a home here very soon, because she is very affectionate. She's great with other cats. She's good with kids. She hasn't been tested with dogs yet, but I feel like if it was an older dog, then she would do fine.
She does certainly seem like a very well-temperamented cat.
She is. And then the next event that's coming up right away is on the 25th. We will be hosting a fundraising barbecue during the block party that's downtown. It's going to be the rest of the Thursdays for the month of August. So we'll be there on the 25th and again this Thursday. We'll also have some fuzzy four-legged friends with us there too, and we're raising some money again to help with the cost of giving these babies the best possible life they can have until they find their forever home.
Absolutely. So obviously that's going to be a lot of fun. If you've been thinking about stopping by, it's still going on for the rest of August. So certainly stop by, try some of the food, see some of the local businesses, and obviously take time to say hi to some of the pets that they're going to be showcasing there. All right, and we got one more thing to chat about, which is something I'm super excited about. We chatted about it the last couple of weeks, but we're going to give you guys another update, remind you guys again, but it is the Alumni Picture Contest. So people are going to be showcasing their pets they've adopted from the Lloydminster SPCA / the Border Paws Animal Shelter. At any point, during its existence, if you've gotten a pet from them, you can show it off. So I'll let you kind of explain, how to do that.
Yeah, so basically what you'll do is a photo of a pet that you've adopted from us. You'll email it to us, and we post pictures on our Facebook page. And then your friends, family, people can vote for their favorite, and then we'll announce the winner, I believe, after the 20th.
Perfect. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put the email up there so you can see it on screen, so you can go ahead and send your pictures into that to submit them for the contest. And once again, I'm so excited because, I've said it before, but it's really nice to see the positive effect that an organization like this has on the community. All the happy homes and all the great friendships that were made through the SPCA between these fuzzy little guys and everybody. So unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week. But I want to thank you for taking time to speak with us, Jessica. I want to thank Emma for stopping by and saying hi, and all the pets here for being so lovely. So we'll chat with you again next week.
Thank you so much.
Pet Project is sponsored by the Pet Pad. For total pet care, think Pet Pad.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Chris Gurretta, CEO of the Saskatchewan Realtors Association. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, Chris.
No, thanks to you, Shelby.
Yes, so I wanted to kind of start off with the numbers for July sales with the housing market and kind of get into it and help get that word out on what's been going on.
Yeah, well, we saw another dip this month in terms of sales dropping 9% year over year. New listings also dropping, and that has been a trend over the past 5 months. Although what we've been watching more closely has been sort of the inventory and the months on market. And so this is the first month in a while where we've seen the trend or the numbers going back to a more balanced condition. And that is really mostly due to the lending rates and the impact on the market, and people really starting to shop for something more affordable or recalibrating their expectations.
And how has the pullback from sales been benefiting new listings, would you say?
Well, it simply means that there's maybe less buyers out there. I think we also have to remember that this is the month of July. And so the month of July is part of the summer months. People are taking vacation or they're out farming. And typically pre-pandemic, June to August have been months that have been a bit slower. We didn't see that during the pandemic because the year was busy throughout. But it seems as though this summer is really the summer where we're going back to pre-pandemic sort of market activity. And so it'll be particularly interesting to see how September fares, but typically the market kind of picks up mid to late August from what we've seen in our stats in the past.
And for the association, how would you say it feels to see how the housing market is kind of getting back to a more balanced condition compared to, like you were saying, in the pandemic years?
Well, in our opinion, as an association, we like to see balanced conditions, but we also like to see affordability being at a comfortable level. So we do know that across the country, affordability has been an issue in the past 2 elections, both provincially and federally. So we really keep a close eye on affordability levels. And if the market is just sort of, not having sharp ups or downs. So we do know across the country, lending rates did put a lot of pressure in Ontario and BC. We saw some pretty steep dips there. We're not going to see that in Saskatchewan. So we're happy to know that means our market is somewhat stable. It's a promising place to be a homeowner, a business owner, and to consider Saskatchewan to move. And so those are the 2 top things that we like to watch for in terms of balanced market and affordability.
What would you say this means to new buyers, of course, in the housing market for, like you said, mid-August to end of August and September, what they can possibly expect?
Well, we often get the question, when is a good time to buy? And there is no good time to buy. The good time to buy is what's right for you, for your family, for your life, and properly understanding your financial situation, as well as your potential and where you want to go in life, where you want to invest, right? This is a significant decision, especially for those who are jumping into the housing market for the first time. And so really, it's great to watch the market, but really home ownership is really a very personal decision. And so I encourage anybody to still keep looking and keep going on their journey.
And would you say that the association thinks these balanced conditions and affordability may continue through the rest of this year?
Well, that's the big question that we always get, right? What is it like over the next few months, the next few years? Housing is a market that can be influenced by a number of different factors: the economy, politics, growth in one's province, and really a number of different factors. And some are intended and some are unintended consequences. And so it's really hard to say what that crystal ball really does say, but there are a few things that are for sure. We do know that inflation is here for the next little bit, and lending rates are going up. And so those two things will absolutely have a cooling impact on the market. The question will be by how much. And for individuals who are looking, they have to kind of recalibrate their expectations. So maybe they were shopping for something specific, and after this reality, maybe they shifted their expectations and they're looking for something different. Question is more how many individuals will no longer be able to afford home ownership. That's the larger question. Fortunately, in Saskatchewan, we're not seeing those big swings as we are across the country. But certainly there are many who are impacted by, inflationary pressures and lending rates going up. So, what is there to see? I think it's promising that as a province, our immigration numbers are still going up. Our economy seems very promising. We're leading the country in terms of construction numbers. So those are all really good things that we would be very happy to see moving forward.
Perfect, Chris. Well, I'm really glad we're able to speak about this, especially for all the residents out there that are looking to buy a home, especially here in Saskatchewan, or looking into the housing market. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today.
You bet. Thanks, Shelby.
And that's all the time we have for Primetime Local News. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a good night.